Hi, I'm Jarrod Mulholland.
And I'm Madi, and this is
Scott.
Farnsworth.
Oh my.
And this is our spring final for honors chemistry. This is Campbell. All right. So, what does your job entail?
So I'm an electrician, and my job entails basically wiring anything at lights, any power plugs. I work in a little bit of residential, but a lot of commercial, industrial, light industrial. I wire anything that has to do with electricity. So you got any lights or plugs or air conditioners we wire up, any of your appliances run off electricity. So I get power to all that stuff. Being car chargers, we do a little bit of solar electricity, and pretty much anything in your house or in business, that's what I do.
Cool.
All right, so describe some recent projects that you've worked on.
I worked on recently, I just completed the Roth Winery up on Chalk Hill Road. The whole production line for basically the whole winemaking thing was set up. We did the caves there also, so it entailed all the lights for all the barrel rooms and all the whole ventilation system and all that. We also did a tasting room there, and I would do a lot of work at other wineries around the county. I just finished the car wash over in Santa Rosa. So we did the whole remodel of that. You probably saw that off of from the freeway. They basically gutted it and started over. So all the showroom and all the new vacuum cleaners and all the new wash lines, it's all been replaced. Also do a lot of work at schools. We do a lot of the portable buildings. We run power to them. I did some work at Sonoma State recently, where we had to put a whole new lighting system in all the offices and that.
Cool. So, do you specialize in any specific areas of electrical work?
I specialize in basically industrial, commercial. That's kind of what I went to. So I went to the apprenticeship program. I went to school for that. It's the most interesting. It's the most challenging. And I just like it the best. Residential gets kind of boring after a while, but I could wire houses all over this county. So yes.
And then what about light industrial?
Light industrial, I would consider like the wineries, production lines. We hooked up all the presses, all the tank net systems, which basically the wine maker is able to control the temperature and moving wine from tank to tank. So it's just basically a smart system for the winemaker, and so that's industrial for me.
And then describe a time when you had a problem, or what you may do when you do have a problem, and then you have to figure it out and find a solution.
Problems kind of arise at all times. We've got questions from the architectural plans are bad, to we just run into something that doesn't work and we have to troubleshoot, and sometimes troubleshooting takes a long time. I'm lucky I have a lot of people that I know in the business, where I'm able to call some friends that might have run the same problem I have or having, and they can kind of help me through it. I have my guys I work with are great. We could put our heads together, pretty much solve anything we run into. But most of it's when stuff just stops working. We got to find it. We got to track it down. It's kind of could be a long process, or it could be really easy. Sometimes we just, by luck, we find problems, or find solutions. But mostly just over years of experience, you basically just go, okay, I ran this before. It might not be the exact same thing, but it's similar to what I've done before, so I could kind of work with it through it that way.
So how long have you been working in the field?
I've been working in the field since 1994. I started doing this. So I worked my way up from basically starting in residential. We would work at the tracks and just pull wire and trim out houses, hang lights, on and on and on. And then I ended up going to the apprenticeship program in Santa Rosa through the union. And then that's where I got all my commercial experience. I've done solar projects here and there. I did a solar project out at the Point Reyes hostel. So that was kind of cool, just to drive in the scenery out there. But that whole place is run off of, has a whole solar kind of system at it too. So most of the electricity is coming from solar out there. And that's just where I got my experience over time in different companies I've worked for throughout the county. Plus I had my own business in '04, and I ran that Until about 2012 when I decided to go work for a friend of mine that needed a lot of help, and it's been pretty good there, so I've decided to stay.
What are some specific things that you do to protect yourself from accidents and injuries?
The best thing to do is just to pay attention. Come to work and pay attention to what you're doing. Anytime you start to kind of daydream or you start to goof off or anything, that's when your biggest possibility of getting hurt. So all I can say is just keep your tools in order and really pay attention to what you're doing. Don't try to just multitask. Don't try to, have a bad day, and that's when you start to get hurt.
How do you use math in your job?
Okay, there's a lot of math in our job, down from the layout of a building to setting up where everything goes. We all have specific heights, the layout, centering here, centering there. We've got, and then also comes time where voltage drop is one of our big things we deal with. Let's say you need to get 100 amps out to a distance, and let's say it's 250 feet, 300 feet, and we have formulas that we can calculate to get that 100 amps. We use with this basic system. You use number 2 THN copper, but if you have to go a long distance, the voltage will have to drop, and then you'll have problems with the equipment running and not have enough power. So we have formulas to figure out how much voltage drops over a distance, and then we have to upsize the wire to make sure we get that 100 amps out to a piece of equipment or a panel or whatever we're working on that day. Also, when we're doing a commercial, we use a lot of metal tubing to run our wires in. So that all comes to, we have to bend it, and that all comes with a lot of geometry. So you've got to, go around obstacles. You've got 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 32s, and you've got to just be able to avoid and get to where you got to go with that tubing. And it all has to be bent using geometry and formulas, and also we'll use stuff like circumference for what we're doing, like light poles. There'll be a big hole. How much concrete do we need for this? So you got to use your formulas for basic, that kind of stuff. Concrete, we'll have to figure out formulas for. There's also, let's say we need to find out how much power we need for a certain size motor. Say it's a 1/4 horsepower motor. We need to get, X amount of 2220 out there. How many amps does this thing need to run? And it's all basic formulas. I have a book that I carry that has all my formulas in it that I need to use on a daily basis, and that's what I always refer to.
Can you describe some of the electrical systems you've worked on and that you are familiar with?
Okay, I'm mostly, basic, anything in a building. That's a hard question to answer. Electrical systems, with all solar. I mean, that's one of the systems we'll do. Let's see. That's a hard one. I can't really have a hard time with that one.
Okay. What are some of the impacts of being shocked?
The basic one is if you get shocked, you could die if the conditions are right. But in my line as a inside wireman, we work with about 600 volts max, and that's enough it could kill you. Anytime the conditions are right, even 120 could kill you. And you might get mildly burned. One of the biggest problems if you get shocked is you've knocked off a ladder, you get knocked over, fall on something. You can get burned. I've been shocked with 277, and the wire has actually burned holes in my hand, and it hurt. It hurt for days. It felt like I got punched in the chest repeatedly. But when the PG&E guys, those guys are the ones that could really could get knocked around and killed really, really fast. But as far as inside wireman goes, there's always a possibility of getting killed, but mostly is getting shot, getting burned, getting knocked off a ladder, getting thrown against something, those are the biggest things, getting shocked. We don't have any time to do it over again.
Here, no. How much time do you have?
I think it's almost 10. It's at 9:42. So that time that you did get shocked in your hand, was that the worst time you've ever been shocked?
The worst time I've been shocked. I was up. We're tearing apart an old office building, and the lights had been abandoned for a while, so no one was releasing it out. So we were clearing all the lights out, and they were all 277, and we were the lights. We had the light switches. Everything was off. We thought, but there was an emergency circuit in there that's meant to keep a light on when the power goes out or when the everything's turned off. It's a night light or it's a way for people to get out of the building. So I was cutting and moving, and I was standing on my ladder and I was above a T-bar ceiling, which is you'll see in your classroom, a T-bar ceiling. I was up there cutting and tearing things apart. Well, I tore something apart, went to cut it, and it was live. I thought everything was off, and it grabbed a hold of me, shook me around to where I couldn't speak, so I couldn't call my buddy to help me out. And it just kind of grabbed me, shook me around for a while, and the wires burned into my hands. And then I was able to finally let go. It blew the breaker, shut off, blew the breaker. I climbed down, and that spent the next couple of days. It hurt. It hurt for a while, but long-term effects, there's no long-term effects. There was no of that one. But I had to have a guy in my class, one of the guys he worked for, was cutting into 480, and it killed him. So it's like I said, it happens occasionally, but it happens when you don't double check. If someone tells you something's dead, you never believe them. You always check for yourself, never, because you just don't know. So I always carry around a tester with me at all times, so I could check it and see if it's hot. Always pay attention. Like I said, know your surroundings, know what's going on, and you should be fine.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.